Well, there are new questions about the political fallout from the U.S. debt downgrade. S&P taking Congress and the White House to task in its statement. So could heads roll? Jessica Brady is a staff writer at Roll Call, and she joins us with more on this. Thanks so much for joining us, Jessica.
Thanks, Heather.
So let's begin with a quote, if we can, from the S&P statement. Here's what they said, amongst other things. The downgrade reflects our view that the effectiveness, stability, and predictability of American policymaking and political institutions have weakened at a time of ongoing fiscal economic challenges to a degree more than we envisioned when we assigned a negative outlook to the rating back on April 18th, 2011. So we had a warning that this was possibly coming. Who will be held accountable for this downgrade?
Well, as you know, the congressmen all left for their August recess, so we're not going to really be seeing heads roll quite as much as we will after Labor Day when members get back. But I will tell you, I've already seen a number of press releases, one that just came out from Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky just right before I came on here, calling for Secretary Tim Geithner to step down, calling for a massive change in terms of the president's economic policy. This is something that we're going to be hearing about from lawmakers, certainly now that they're back home, talked to their constituents, and again in September when they all come back to Washington.
Yeah, almost instantly, you know, overnight I have that, it comes in on my BlackBerry, just constant beeps, the statements that were started to come in from Capitol Hill. Rand Paul, the latest, calling for Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner to resign. Michelle Bachmann, one of the first to call for that. Should he resign? Do you think that he should?
Well, it's certainly unclear to see whether he will or not. There were rumblings that he was thinking about stepping down after September when the debt deal was finished. He's batted down those rumors right now. I will tell you, though, Heather, I was covering the Senate when Ben Bernanke was up for his second term at the Fed, and members from both political parties, you saw Bernie Sanders on the left, you saw a number of Republicans on the right, David Vitter comes to mind, all calling for him to step down, saying that his economic policies were weakening the country. And eventually, when the White House put the support behind their guy, he was confirmed. Now, of course, this is a different time. The makeup in Washington is much different. And it'll be interesting to see how much it catches on with Secretary Tim Geithner. Certainly, people do want to see some changes, though, particularly given this new S&P announcement.
Okay, so this happened under President Obama's watch. There's no denying that. Does this give potential political or Republican candidates for president momentum, the momentum that they need to oust President Obama from office?
Again, very interesting. I mean, as you know, people vote with their pocketbooks. And so from now until the election day, you're going to see the president, you're going to see the Republican candidates focusing on the economy, focusing on jobs, which is what the president said in his press conference last week he was shifting his focus to. But you're right, this is definitely going to be a difficult political issue for him to talk about. The Republicans are going to be reminding him that these policies that he has now been supporting are also then being backed up by S&P announcements. You know, it's going to be definitely a difficult road for him.
Which he has not talked about yet. So we're waiting for a statement from President Obama, perhaps coming on Monday. Thank you very much, Jessica Brady, for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.